On July 29, 2026, Jared Leto issued a direct denial after a new BBC documentary presented allegations from 10 women, including 4 who accused the actor and 30 Seconds to Mars frontman of conduct the BBC described as potentially criminal. Leto said he had never sexually assaulted anyone and called the claims categorically false. That response is the newest confirmed development, but it leaves a central question. What has actually been established? What remains an allegation? And is there any criminal case against him? For verified entertainment updates without the rumors, subscribe to Startline Entertainment. The timing matters because the original BBC report said Leto had not responded to repeated attempts to contact him before the documentary was released. Later that same day, however, his statement was provided to the Associated Press, ABC News, CBS News, and People. His statement said, "I have never sexually assaulted anyone in my entire life. These claims are absolutely and categorically false." That means early reports describing no response became outdated within hours. The documentary is titled Jared Leto, Hollywood's Dark Secret. According to the BBC's reporting as summarized by multiple news organizations, 10 women participated and 9 said they were speaking publicly for the first time. Their accounts concern alleged encounters between 2002 and 2016, when Leto was in his 30s and 40s, and the women were teenagers or young adults. The women were not identified publicly by their full names. 4 accounts form the documentary's most serious allegations. One woman says Leto assaulted her in a Las Vegas area motel bathroom when she was 17. Another says she had sex with him at his California home when she was 17, below California's age of consent. A third woman says she was 19 when she was unexpectedly left alone with Leto in a hotel room and that he threatened her with sexual assault. The fourth says she was 16 when he allegedly made repeated sexual phone calls and suggested that they have sex. These are the women's allegations. They are not criminal convictions or judicial findings. The documentary also contains accounts that do not allege a completed criminal offense, but describe behavior the women considered sexual or inappropriate. One participant says, Leto made a sexual comment about her appearance when she was 14 at a music festival. Several women say they received unusual or sexual calls when they were young. The BBC additionally interviewed 2 men who had worked with 30 Seconds to Mars. They said staff members had been uncomfortable with how Leto interacted with teenage fans and sometimes invited them backstage or to a recording property. What gives the BBC report additional weight is its description of the verification work behind the documentary. The BBC says it corroborated several accounts with friends and relatives who were told about the alleged encounters at the time. It also says it reviewed photographs and messages supporting portions of the women's stories. In one case, the BBC says it saw a proposed non-disclosure agreement that a woman says she declined to sign. But there is an important limitation. The Associated Press, ABC News, and CBS News said they had not independently verified or corroborated the accusations themselves. That distinction is essential. Corroboration can mean that a person reported an experience contemporaneously, that communications occurred, or that supporting documents exist. It does not necessarily prove every disputed detail of an allegation. The BBC's supporting material may strengthen the public credibility of parts of the timeline, but the full evidence has not been examined through a public criminal proceeding. The new documentary did not emerge without previous reporting. In June 2025, Airmail published accounts from 9 women who accused Leto of inappropriate or sexually improper conduct, with some saying they were teenagers during their interactions with him. His representative expressly denied those accusations and described at least one woman's claim as demonstrably false. The Guardian and other outlets reported on that dispute at the time. Those numbers should not simply be added together to claim that 19 different women have accused Leto. The BBC says 9 of the 10 documentary participants were speaking publicly for the first time, indicating that at least one account had previously been public. Without a verified comparison of every participant, the amount of overlap between the BBC documentary and the 2025 reporting should not be assumed. The most important legal clarification is that being accused of criminal sexual conduct is not the same as being criminally charged. CBS News reported on July 29th that no criminal charges had ever been filed against Leto. The current reporting reviewed for this video does not identify an arrest, indictment, prosecution, or civil judgment connected to these allegations. No court has ruled on the truth of the documentary's claims. That does not determine whether the allegations are true or false. It establishes only the present procedural status. The women have made public accusations. The BBC says it found material supporting portions of several accounts, and Leto has issued an unequivocal denial. There is no publicly reported adjudication resolving those competing positions. There is also no verified studio or record label response in the major reports reviewed as of July 29. Leto remains a prominent actor and musician, known for his Academy Award-winning performance in Dallas Buyers Club, his role as the frontman of 30 Seconds to Mars, and recent film work including Masters of the Universe. Whether the documentary affects future projects, touring plans, or business relationships remains unknown unless the relevant companies make public announcements. This is where coverage can easily move beyond the evidence. Social media reaction may be intense, but online comments are not proof. The existence of several accounts does not authorize reporters to declare guilt, and a categorical denial does not erase the need to examine documented allegations. The responsible position is to report both, identify the available supporting material, and remain precise about what the legal system has, or has not, done. Here is the Startline takeaway. What changed on July 29th was not a criminal charge. What changed was the scale and visibility of the public record. A BBC documentary brought 10 women's accounts into one investigation, said it had corroborated portions of several stories, and included testimony from former band workers. Hours later, Leto personally issued one of his clearest denials. The documentary and the denial now stand side by side, while the underlying accusations remain unresolved outside a courtroom. What viewers should not assume is that the phrase criminal sexual conduct means prosecutors have filed a case. They have not, according to the latest reporting reviewed. What remains unclear is whether any accuser has recently contacted law enforcement, whether authorities will examine the documentary's materials, whether Leto will offer a more detailed response, and whether studios, touring partners, or other companies will act. Those are the developments to watch next, not rumor, speculation, or social media verdicts. For now, the verified summary is this. 4 women in a BBC documentary have accused Jared Leto of conduct they say occurred when they were teenagers. 6 other women describe additional allegedly inappropriate interactions. The BBC says it obtained supporting material for several accounts. Leto denies the allegations categorically, and no criminal charges have been reported. The next meaningful update will require something new, a formal complaint, an official investigation, additional evidence, a detailed response, or a confirmed institutional decision.